There are secrets that couples keep from the world. And then there are secrets couples keep from each other. Nicole Kidman had always assumed the dangerous ones were the former. She was wrong. Somewhere in a locked drawer in a quiet office in Brentwood, a therapist wrote down a sentence that should never have existed. A sentence that, when discovered, would detonate like an explosive beneath one of Hollywood's most carefully maintained marriages. The sentence was simple, painfully simple, and it wasn't hers. It was Keith Urban's. Written in precise handwriting, underlined twice. Some days I love my wife so much it feels like drowning. Some days I don't know if I love her at all. Nicole wasn't supposed to see that. Not the sentence, not the paragraph, not the notebook that held 20 years of private sessions, confessions, collapses, temptations, victories, failures, and half-forgotten truths. But she did, because the one person in the world who wasn't supposed to break the rules, their therapist, did. Not deliberately, not maliciously, but carelessly, fatally. It started with an email, not an emotional one, not an angry one, just a bureaucratic message from an assistant. "Dear Miss Kidman, your requested documents are ready for pickup." She had requested insurance invoices, not notes, not transcripts, not private material, just proof of sessions for accounting purposes. But the assistant was new, the archive was old, and the envelope she handed Nicole, reassuringly sealed, securely clipped, thick with paper, contained something no one in that office realized was misfiled. 200 pages of Dr. Rosenfield's personal therapeutic notes. Keith's notes. A decade's worth. The assistant smiled as she handed them over. Nicole smiled back, not knowing she was holding a grenade wrapped in manila paper. At first, she didn't open the envelope. It sat on the passenger seat of her car, then on her kitchen counter, then on her nightstand. She only opened it because she thought it contained itemized billing. She only read the first line because she was searching for the date of a session. And she only kept reading because something impossible happened. She saw her name, not Nicole, not Mrs. Urban, her full name, underlined, as though she were a diagnosis. Nicole. Trigger for abandonment fear, source of security and threat simultaneously. Her stomach clenched. She shouldn't read further. She knew that, legally, ethically, emotionally. But her eyes kept going. And then she saw the next sentence. Client reports fear that he gives more love than he receives. Her hands trembled. He said that? When? Why? To whom? She flipped the page. More handwriting, more confessions, more shadows, more things she wasn't ready to learn.
He reports feeling responsible for his wife's emotional stability. He reports fear she will leave him if he shows his full self. He worries she stays out of obligation, not affection. He questions whether they want the same life. Nicole stopped breathing. This wasn't gossip. This wasn't speculation. This wasn't tabloid fiction. This was him, his mind, his heart, his fears, his nights, his private truth, written by a third party, in ink, in clinical language stripped of tenderness. She wanted to stop reading. She didn't. When Keith came home that night, the house was too quiet. He knew that kind of silence. It wasn't the peaceful kind. It was the something happened kind. He found Nicole sitting on the edge of the sofa, the envelope beside her. She didn't look up. "Hey," he said, cautiously. Everything okay? She held up a page, a single page, shaking. He froze. What is that? He asked. She didn't answer. Instead, she read aloud, voice thin and breaking. Client expresses fear that his wife loves the version of him she created, not the man he is. Keith's face drained of color. Mick, where did you get that? She didn't blink. Is it true? He swallowed hard. Where did you get that? She held up the envelope. You sent me to pick up invoices. Your therapist's office handed me this. Keith's heart split open. Oh, God. Is it true? She repeated. He didn't answer. He couldn't. She stood up. Keith. Her voice shook. Is it true that some days you're not sure if you love me? His eyes closed. That was the moment. The moment he realized the worst night of his life wasn't the relapse, or the intervention, or the rumors, or the scandals, or the pressure. It was this room, this silence, this question, this woman whose heart he had loved so violently that it sometimes crushed him to breathe around her. He sank onto the couch, face in his hands. Nick, he whispered, you weren't supposed to see that. Why? She asked bitterly. Because it's not true? Or because it is? Because it was therapy. It was raw. It was unfiltered. It was me trying to understand myself. But you said it. Yes, he said quietly. I said it. She felt the ground tilt. Something inside her, something she had held carefully for decades, fractured. Not a clean break. A sickening, jagged crack. Look at me, she whispered. He dead. Slowly. Terrified. Do you love me every day? No, he said honestly. Her breath hitched. But I choose you every day. Even on the days when my brain is a mess, and my heart is scared, and my past is louder than it should be. Jesus, Nick, I choose you. That's not what you said in those notes. I didn't know those notes would ever be read, especially by you.
Then tell me something, she said quietly. When did you stop telling me the truth and start telling it to him instead? Keith's throat burned. I didn't stop, he said. I just couldn't always say the darkest things to the person I was terrified of losing. And now I've lost you anyway, she whispered. You haven't. Haven't I? She asked. He stood, but she stepped back. That hurt more than any sentence in the notebook. Nick, please, he begged. Just talk to me. That's your therapist's job, apparently. He flinched. She immediately regretted it, but didn't take it back. You think I don't have fears? You think I don't tell my truth in rooms you don't walk into? You think I don't have days where I doubt myself, doubt us, doubt the weight of this life? Then why aren't your doubts here, where I can hold them? She laughed. It wasn't a pretty sound. Because I didn't want you to drown, she whispered. And I didn't want you to disappear, he replied. They stared at each other. Broken, human, exposed not by the world, but by a clerical error. Already headlines were being drafted, but neither of them knew that yet. The real explosion would come later. The internet would learn about the notes for another week. But the marriage began bleeding the instant the envelope opened. The note sat between them on the coffee table, like a third person. Not the therapist, not God. Something worse, a mirror. Can I see them? Keith asked quietly. Nicole stared at him. You wrote them, she said. You lived them. Don't you already know what's inside? I know what I said in that room, he replied. I don't know how it looks when written down and handed to my wife like a report card. Her lips tightened. It's not a report card,
she said. "It's a map." "A map to what?" he asked. "To the parts of you I never got invited into," she whispered. That landed hard. He reached slowly toward the stack of papers. She didn't stop him. He flipped through the pages. Dates, session numbers, clinical observations. His own words filtered through Dr. Rosenfield's calming pen. Client expresses chronic fear of abandonment rooted in childhood instability and prior romantic loss.
Some days, I want to disappear from my life for a while to see if she comes looking for me because she loves me or because she hates what it would do to her image if I vanished. He closed his eyes. "I was spiraling that day," he said hoarsely. "I was tired, lonely. I'd just gotten back from tour. You were on location. I hadn't seen you in weeks. And instead of telling me that you felt abandoned," she said, "you fantasized about testing my love by disappearing. That's why I went to therapy," he snapped, "so I wouldn't do something stupid like that." She flinched. He exhaled and ran a hand through his hair. "I'm not defending the thought," he said softly. "I'm telling you why it stayed a thought and didn't become a headline." Nicole sank onto the armchair, suddenly exhausted. "What else is in there?" she asked, nodding toward the pile. "What haven't I seen yet?" He hesitated. Then, quietly, "Things that make me look weaker than you'd like to believe I am." She frowned. "What does that mean?" "You like me steady, calm, patient, solid. You like me as the man who survived his demons and learned to play guitar over the sound of his own collapsing life. You like the testimonial version of me, the before and after." "That's not fair," she whispered. "It's not entirely unfair either," he said gently. "You fell in love with me during the redemption arc. You didn't have to live through the prequel." She looked down. "It feels like you punish me for that sometimes." He sank back onto the couch. "And it feels like you punish me for ever being broken," he replied. They sat there in the thick, suffocating honesty of that. Two people who had dragged each other out of the dark in different seasons and now struggled with the weight of the gratitude, guilt, and quiet resentment that came afterward. Nicole picked up another page. Her hands shook less now, maybe because shock had given way to something worse, understanding. Client reports intrusive thoughts about disappearing. He expresses confusion about how to receive unconditional love without suspicion. He fears his wife would stay even if deeply unhappy, and worries he is responsible for her lack of freedom. What does that mean? He looked tired. What do you think it means? "Don't turn this into therapy," she snapped. "Then stop reading my therapy like a script you get to interpret." These were words I said to one person in one context on one day. They are not vows. They are not commandments. They are not the full truth. They are moments. Her voice softened. "And these moments say that you worry I stay even when I'm unhappy." He looked straight at her. "I do." "I've always been scared you confuse endurance with love." "And what do you confuse with love?" she asked. He paused. "Need," he said finally. "Fear, gratitude, habit, you." They both laughed, but it wasn't a happy sound. "Do you want to leave me?" she asked suddenly. He recoiled. "What?" "You talk so much about fear that I'll leave," she said. "But these notes, they read like you're trapped with a woman who scares you." "You do scare me," he said quietly. "You've always scared me." She blinked. "Because I'm cold?" she asked bitterly. "Because you're the first person who could destroy me," he replied. That shut her up. Completely. "I didn't know how to live with that," he said. "So I went to someone who could help me hold it without dropping it on your head every day." "And he wrote it all down?" she murmured. "Yeah," Keith said. "He did." She flipped further into the stack. New dates, new phrases, new versions of the same old wound. Then she saw it, the line that made everything else look like a warm-up. Her finger trembled as she pointed. "What's that?" she whispered. He followed her gaze, read the line, froze. Client speculates that his wife might be emotionally addicted to his vulnerability and fears she will lose interest if he becomes too emotionally independent. "Did you say that?" she asked. He shut his eyes. "Yes." "When?" "A long time ago." "How long?" "I don't remember the exact year." "I do," she said. He looked at her sharply. "You weren't there," he said. She held up the page. "It's dated," she replied. "Right here." She read out the year. His heart dropped. That year. Of all years. "That was when we were good," she whispered. "That was when I thought we were finally breathing easy. That was when I thought you trusted me." "I did," he said, "and that scared me more than anything." She stared at him. "What?" "I didn't know how to live without chaos, without something to fix, without something to apologize for, without something to make up for. So when things got calm, I started waiting for the catastrophe." "That's not my fault," she whispered. "I know," he said. "That's why I told him, not you." She swallowed hard. "And did you really think," she asked, voice cracking, "that I would stop loving you if you got healthy?" "Yes," he said. "Some days I did." That was the worst part. Not the line about not knowing if he loved her, not the fantasies about disappearing, not even the resentment. The worst part was realizing that while she had been quietly terrified of losing him to relapse, he had been quietly terrified of losing her to his recovery. Two people on opposite sides of the same bridge, both convinced the other one was about to walk away, neither realizing they were both clutching the railings for dear life. The real scandal didn't start until the notes left their house. For now, the only people who knew were Nicole, Keith, and an assistant who thought she'd handed over billing statements. But the universe has a cruel sense of timing. 3 days after Nicole opened the envelope, a hacker group leaked confidential files from a Beverly Hills medical software provider. The news cycles focused on rich patients' prescriptions, surgeries, cosmetic procedures, at first. Then someone noticed a different kind of document in the data dump. Therapy notes. Redacted names, but not redacted enough. Someone saw the words country music artist and actress wife and public persona. Someone saw the sessions dated after high-profile relapses and award shows. Someone saw references to music tours, press junkets, premieres. Someone put it together. A blogger posted a screenshot. No names, just a quote. "Some days I love my wife so much it feels like drowning. Some days I don't know if I love her at all." Twitter exploded. That's gotta be a celebrity. Whose therapist notes are these? Y'all, this sounds like a musician. This sounds like someone who's married to a much more famous partner. Country singer? Keith Urban? No one knew. Not yet. Nicole watched the storm gather from her phone, heart pounding, as strangers tried to guess which man had said those words. She didn't need to guess. She knew. Keith paced their bedroom like a caged animal. "This is bad. This is so bad," she said quietly. "They don't know it's you." "They will," he replied. "Someone's going to connect the dots. It's only a matter of time before some bored internet detective cross-references tour dates, session dates." "And when they do?" she asked softly. He stopped. "What?"
When they do, she repeated, are you more afraid of the world knowing what you said or me knowing? His shoulders slumped. You already know, he said. You read it first. Did you want to tell me before they did? She asked. He hesitated. Too long. Nicole nodded. That's what I thought, she whispered. He rubbed his face with both hands. I was trying to protect you, he said. No, you were replied. You were trying to protect your image of yourself, the version where you only ever doubt yourself, not me. He looked at her wounded. That's not fair. It's honest, she said. You're okay with the world knowing you hate yourself sometimes. You're less okay with the world knowing you doubted me. He didn't deny it. Couldn't, because it was true. The reveal happened on a Thursday. It wasn't a front-page expose. It wasn't even a dedicated feature. It was a podcast.
An independent journalist, a cheap microphone, a fan base hungry for the illusion of insight. I'm not saying this is Keith Urban, the host said, but let's look at the timing. They laid it all out. The leaked notes, the dates, the references, the overlapping public events. By the end of the episode, they had convinced half the internet that the anonymous client was him. The other half was furious at the invasion of privacy, but anger doesn't erase curiosity. The damage was done. Within hours, headlines sprang up. Did Keith Urban really say he doesn't know if he loves Nicole Kidman? Therapist leak scandal. Fans connect dots to country star. When private doubts become public doubts, the marriage quote that shocked Hollywood. Nicole and Keith sat side by side on the couch, fingers loosely intertwined, watching their inner world become comment fodder. This is sick, he muttered. This is sick. It's also inevitable, she said. He turned to her. What is that supposed to mean? You built a career on confessional art, on turning your heartbreaks into songs, your struggles into redemption stories. Did you really think the world wouldn't eventually feel entitled to the unedited version? And you didn't? He shot back. You cry for cameras. You bleed on screen. You let directors excavate your soul for rawness. I choose what scenes the world sees. Not anymore, he said. They stared at each other. Two performers finally learning what it feels like to be watched against their will. The calls started the next morning. Their publicists, their lawyers, their managers. We need a statement. We should condemn the breach of confidentiality. We should focus on the privacy violation, not the content. This is a great opportunity to talk about mental health stigma. We can spin this as an educational moment. No one asked how they were. Not really. Not in the way that mattered. Finally, Nicole said, I'm not making a statement about whether you do or don't love me. Keith exhaled in relief. Thank you. I'm also not making a statement where I stand by you and say, I've never doubted you. His relief evaporated. What? I'm not going to weaponize my loyalty as PR. Not this time. So what do we do? He asked. She thought for a moment. Nothing, she said. Nothing? Yes, she said. We let the quote live without us. That quote is about us, he said. No, it's about you and what you felt on some days, years ago, in a room that was supposed to hold it for you. The fact that I know it is already too much. The fact that the world knows. She broke off. Her voice trembled. Keith reached for her hand.
Nick, I can live with you doubting yourself, she said. I have for years.
I don't know yet if I can live with you doubting me, but that's between us, not them. He squeezed her fingers. Do you doubt me? He asked quietly. She met his gaze. Yes, she said. Some days I do. His face crumpled. Why? Because I'm human, she said simply. Because I've seen you say one thing to cameras and another to yourself. Because I've watched you perform stability when your hands were shaking. Because I've been on the receiving end of your spirals. He looked away. Did you tell your therapist that? He asked. Yes. Did he write it down? Yes. Would you want me to read it? She considered. Then, no, she said. I wouldn't. He nodded. Then you understand how exposed I feel right now. She stayed silent for a moment. Then, very softly, I do, and I'm sorry. He swallowed hard. For which part? He asked. For reading it or for existing in it? She almost laughed. It came out as a choked breath instead. Both, she said. That night, when the house finally emptied of strategists and advisors and hovering assistants, they sat across from each other at the dining table in the dim light of a single pendant lamp. No makeup, no stage clothes. Just two exhausted, middle-aged people who had lived more lives than most. The notes were on the table again. Not read this time, just present. Can I ask you something? Nicole said quietly. Anything, he replied. Why didn't you ever say that sentence to me? She asked. He knew which one. He didn't pretend not to. Because it's cruel. It's honest, she corrected. It's both, he said. And I didn't want to hurt you with a moment that didn't represent the totality of my love. Then why say it at all? She asked. He exhaled slowly. Because I needed to admit that love isn't a constant sensation. It's not a light that stays at the same brightness every day. Some days it's blinding. Some days it's dim. Some days I can't find the switch because I'm lost inside my own head. And on those days, she asked, do you treat me differently? He shook his head. No, he said. That's the whole point. I act the same. I show up. I stay. I don't let my feelings dictate my commitment. She looked at him, trying to decide if that comforted her or devastated her. Some days, she said, I feel like I love you too much for my own good. His eyes softened. I know. Some days, she added, I don't know if I like you very much. He smiled sadly. I know that too. And I've never said that to you. Not like this. Not so plainly. Why? Because I didn't want you to hear one day and think it defined every day. I didn't want you trapped in my worst hour. Nick, I can live with you doubting yourself, she said. I have for years. I don't know yet if I can live with you doubting me, but that's between us, not them. He squeezed her fingers. Do you doubt me? He asked quietly. She met his gaze. Yes, she said. Some days I do. His face crumpled. Why? Because I'm human, she said simply. Because I've seen you say one thing to cameras and another to yourself. Because I've watched you perform stability when your hands were shaking. Because I've been on the receiving end of your spirals. He looked away. Did you tell your therapist that? He asked. Yes, she said. Did he write it down?
Yes. Would you want me to read it? She considered. Then, no, she said. I wouldn't. He nodded. Then you understand how exposed I feel right now. She stayed silent for a moment. Then, very softly, I do, and I'm sorry. He swallowed hard. For which part? He asked. For reading it? Or for existing in it? She almost laughed. It came out as a choked breath instead. Both, she said. That night, when the house finally emptied of strategists and advisors and hovering assistants, they sat across from each other at the dining table in the dim light of a single pendant lamp. No makeup, no stage clothes, just two exhausted middle-aged people who had lived more lives than most. The notes were on the table again, not read this time, just present. Can I ask you something? Nicole said quietly. Anything, he replied. Why didn't you ever say that sentence to me? She asked. He knew which one. He didn't pretend not to. Because it's cruel. It's honest, she corrected. It's both, he said. And I didn't want to hurt you with a moment that didn't represent the totality of my love. Then why say it at all? She asked. He exhaled slowly. Because I needed to admit that love isn't a constant sensation. It's not a light that stays at the same brightness every day. Some days it's blinding. Some days it's dim. Some days I can't find the switch because I'm lost inside my own head. And on those days, do you treat me differently? He shook his head. No, he said. That's the whole point. I act the same. I show up. I stay. I don't let my feelings dictate my commitment. She looked at him, trying to decide if that comforted her or devastated her. Some days, she said slowly, I feel like I love you too much for my own good. His eyes softened. I know. Some days, I don't know if I like you very much, she added. He smiled sadly. I know that too. And I've never said that to you. Not like this. Not so plainly. Why? Because I didn't want you to hear one day and think it defined every day. I didn't want you trapped in my worst hour. They were quiet for a long time.
Maybe I did. The day I decided to process my marriage in a place that writes it all down. Therapists write to protect you, she said, to track progress, to hold your story consistently. Maybe, he said, but stories on paper feel different than stories in mouths. She tilted her head. Do you want me to see mine? She asked. He looked at her, startled. What? My therapist's notes, she clarified. Do you want to see what I've said about you? He hesitated. Then, slowly, no, he said. I want to hear it from you, not him. She smiled a little. Then ask. He turned towards her fully, guitar resting against his leg. What do your worst days sound like? He asked quietly. About us. She stared at the horizon. Then, some days, she said,
I feel like loving you is standing on a shore watching a storm. I never know when it's going to hit. I just know that when it does, I'll be drenched, whether I'm ready or not. He swallowed. And your best days? He asked. She smiled faintly. Some days, she said, I feel like loving you is standing in the middle of a song I never want to end. He nodded. That sounds familiar. I don't always like you on the storm days, she added. He laughed softly. I don't always like me on those days either. She looked at him then. At least, she said, we're telling the truth to each other now, not just to people who write it down for us. He nodded. Yeah, he said, and if the world ever gets another sentence from inside my head, it won't be because someone leaked it. It'll be because I put it in a song myself. Will you put that line in a song? She asked. He thought for a moment, then shook his head. No, he said. That line already hurt you once. I'm not immortalizing it. She relaxed. What will you write, then? He looked at her, really looked at her, at the woman who had read his worst thoughts and stayed, at the woman's worst thoughts he hadn't yet fully heard, but now wanted to. I'll write, he said slowly. Some days I'm terrified I don't deserve the love I've been given, and I stay anyway, trying to become a man who does. She exhaled. That, she said, is a line I can live with. He leaned closer. Can you live with me? He asked quietly. She met his gaze. Yes, she said. As long as you let me be human in your story. Not an angel, not a savior, not a myth. Deal, he said. As long as you let me be human in yours. Not a project, not a redemption arc, not a quote. She smiled. For the first time since the envelope, it reached her eyes. Deal. They sat there as the sky darkened. No cameras, no notebooks, no counselor gently urging them to go deeper. Just two people who had seen the worst written versions of each other and decided to write new ones together. Not in ink this time, in days, in choices, in the quiet, unremarkable moments the world would never quote. The therapist's notes would stay in a drawer, unread, unleaked, unfinished, because the only record that mattered now wasn't what had been captured on someone else's page. It was what they would say and not say to each other when there was no one listening. And in that fragile, complicated, imperfect space, their marriage, bruised and exposed, did something no headline ever thinks to report. It kept going.